Colorado home buyers don't have to duke it out quite as much to find a home anymore. The state is finally seeing a shift in its competitive market.
This morning, we're taking a 360 in-depth look at the current state of Colorado home sales. We're diving into the new statewide report and the changes we're seeing with sale prices and listings. Plus, I found out what can happen if home sellers are not honest about past problems with their homes.
Slippery slope there. We've also found a way current homeowners can save on their property taxes, which of course are going up. But we want to start with Denver 7's Veronica Acosta breaking down the numbers from that new state housing report that shows it's not quite as intense as it was.
Not like it used to be. Those real estate numbers, they are definitely changing, and the market as a whole is changing as well. First off is statewide. We want to talk about those listings. New listings in May hit more than 11,000. That's up from about 4%. That was just about a month ago or so. For many, this is really welcome news. It's good news. It means there are more houses on the market, more places with the possibility of becoming a home. The median sale price in May was just under $600,000. That's down just a little bit. It's still a big change from the jumps in prices we've been seeing in the past. We spoke with someone with the Colorado Association of Realtors who told us what really brought on this change.
I've been a realtor for 30 years, so I've been through several ups and downs. I've really never seen a market change as quickly as this one did. But when the interest rate hike came in April, specifically the week right before Easter, it was a pretty significant rate hike, and we saw instantly a real cooling off in buyers.
And buyers aren't the only ones seeing a change. Sellers also seeing that change as well. In the past, we know people were putting their homes on the market. It was selling in just a matter of days. Now when a seller puts their home on the market, sometimes it can take up to a week, 2, or even 3 to sell. In Golden, I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
Veronica, thank you. One big legal problem could cost home sellers tens of thousands of dollars. As the housing market becomes a little less competitive, buyers might get pickier when it comes to the condition of the house that they're purchasing. But being dishonest about the problems with the home that you're selling could come back to bite you. In today's edition of Justice with Jessica, I explain what can happen to sellers if they aren't transparent.
But this is a nice remodeled house right here. I mean, I like it. I like the colors.
If your walls could talk, what would they say?
There were some cracks on the outside of this place that I'm concerned about.
Travis Lockard is one of many Coloradans trying to find a place to call home.
We are trying to have a family, so we want to have a space where we can, grow.
There's a lot he's willing to put up with.
I'm looking at foundation seeing if there's the major systems, how those look.
He just wants to know the truth. And according to Colorado law, if a seller knows about a big problem with the house, they have to disclose it, whether or not the buyer waives an inspection.
For instance, if a roof is leaking, that is something that a seller would be expected to reveal to the buyer.
Eric Nesbitt is a real estate attorney. He says things like structural damage and flooding have to be disclosed. This is true even if those defects have been fully repaired.
They can pursue the seller for fraud, for failure to disclose, again, because that's the law, that's a statutory right under the state of Colorado.
If the fraud causes the property to be worth less than the buyer paid, the seller could have to pay thousands to make up the difference. On the flip side, sellers are only required to disclose the major house problems that they have knowledge of. So be careful about waiving inspections.
I think there's definitely a financial gamble there, right? You're rolling the dice if you start to waive things, and yeah, that's when things start to get sticky.
The housing market still hasn't completely cooled, and some people are still waiving inspections as a bargaining chip. In those cases, be prepared to pay to fix problems you didn't know about.
Because if I have to give away all my inspection rights, I need to make sure I'm coming into something somewhat solid.
Unlike some other states, here in Colorado, sellers do not have to disclose if someone died in the home that they're selling. If that's something that you care about as a buyer, then be sure to ask.
Wow. Well, as the cost to own a home rises, some cities and counties across the Front Range want to help people stay in their homes by offering property tax relief or discounts. In Denver specifically, officials told me their help is available for homeowners and even renters.
Denver Human Services encourages residents to apply for this program. It really does offer some help in affording their home and remaining valued members of our community.
Denver is taking applications now for the 2021 tax year, and it isn't just for seniors, it's also for the disabled and families with young children. You should look to check your eligibility requirements by searching Denver property tax relief. If you live somewhere else, be sure to check with your city or county to see if they offer any help as well.
If you're looking for an apartment, you are probably struggling to find a deal. ApartmentList.com says the vacancy rate in Denver is about 6%. So look at it the other way. That means 94% of apartments in Denver are full. A year ago, it was slightly easier to find a place when the vacancy rate was about 8.5%.